Stone County Extension saves the world.
We're at it again. Stone County Extension saves the world. We attempted last week, and we just weren't feeling it. We've tried to record some already today, and I've been messing up.
Shame.
If you didn't know, sometimes we mess up.
A lot.
But I've got a crick in my neck every time I move.
It hurts,
It
doesn't
hurts,
it?
yeah. So I'm just going to try to sit real still.
Did you get that from sledding or?
No, I think I got it from sleeping.
That's
That's
normally
me.
how you get
I slept wrong, and now my neck hurts.
it. You're getting older.
Yeah, I'm almost a man. I'll be 40.
Next year.
Yeah, 2027.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting close.
It is getting close.
Yeah, it's a shame. I wanted to talk about groundhogs, and only a little bit of it made a little real, but
Yeah.
I want to eat one. So that was one of the reasons why I want to talk
I'm
about
sure they
groundhogs.
would be good. I mean, I'm not too adventurous, so you'd have to be like, we made it. We caught a groundhog and we're going to cook it, and then I would try it. But
Allegedly, it tastes like pork, kind of. Allegedly. I've not tried it. I'm hoping that someone will bring me one, preferably skinned and beheaded. That's the part I don't really want to do.
Well,
But I do want to try it.
yeah. And then sorry, I'm not dressed the best because it's hot.
It's hot and you've been out in the community garden.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for my class tomorrow. I think I'm ready.
What all are you talking about tomorrow?
Well, I said I thought I'm ready. Now I can't remember. No,
That's true.
I think we'll do seed starting. That's just a fun activity. Master Gardener's got a lot of seed trays donated to us, and so they're like, we gotta use them. So we'll probably I like to show people, how you can maybe, if you bought in bulk, bought peat moss, perlite, you can pretty easily add a little bit of, fertilizer and lime to your mix and make you a good seed starting mix. So I'll probably show that off and, how to mix your own seed starting mix. And then we'll start some cool season seeds, broccoli, cabbage. I think we've got seeds left over. And then go through, show them how my low tunnel that I built and talk about that, how to extend your growing season at home. And then it is a community garden kind of interest meeting. I'm hoping a few people will say, yeah, we'd like to have a raised bed or something. I'm trying not to move, but I've talked to a few folks, and it's like, well, when you think community garden, it's like, well, is it a garden that the community works on? Because I've seen that before and we have enough space that we could do both. Or is it like a community garden where we rent out beds? And so that's kind of our thought process of how we want to set it up. And this is also the community garden's like my iLead project. So I'm double dipping.
One thing I like about it is that it's a teaching opportunity along with a public space.
Yeah, it's
because we've had 4-Hers out there. You've had multiple classes, master gardeners.
With our 4-H way of thinking, learn by doing. It's like, well, why don't we do a class?
I think
by doing it, we'll I can show how to do it, show how to build it, show
and
the
y'all
materials.
had built several raised beds.
Yeah, that's how we built the raised beds,
the
and several people come out, and that's what I hope we'll do again. If a few people are interested in participating in the community garden, we've got 8 beds out there right now, but my goal is to add more as people want to participate. And
I think adults miss learning by doing as well.
Yeah, and so it's
one of the awesome things about extension.
Used to do death by PowerPoint, and those were good, I guess. You get I guess some people like that, but I'm leaning more towards I don't just want to sit there and point at a PowerPoint, and I'm not the best.
Any class that you can have both.
Looking at the PowerPoint. This is how I used to do a PowerPoint if we did the podcast like this. As you can see here, we've got, what's that say?
Oh, I need my notes on that.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to look. That is a story. I had And I also have problem with like making eye contact to
Yes, you
people.
do. Or he'll find one person and just like stare him down.
And so she's been nice. One of my ladies, when I first started, had done maybe been here 3 or so years doing these classes, and she's like, just a little tip, make eye contact every now and then. But yeah, so look at the camera, make eye contact, look, look at
Don't
you.
look at it like
Yeah,
that.
but
I usually find a few people that I can stare at.
yeah. Yeah, so, and it being kind of the informal kind of learn by doing type deal, I think be real easy to show how to pull a soil test, and I'll have copies of soil tests to show people how to read one, and probably take my fertilizers out there, talk about how to interpret soil tests, how to use the numbers on a bag of fertilizer. I don't know if we've ever talked about that. If you read a bag of fertilizer, you can always see there's like 3 numbers on there, like something something dash something something dash something something. Like 19, 19, 19 would be 19% nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So
You mean they make other fertilizers?
that's what those 3 numbers stand for, is the N, P, and K. And so that's
In that order?
in that order. Show you, when it's a percentage. Some people you see like 5, 5, 5, or 5, 0, 0. So a 5, 0, 0 is 5% nitrogen, no phosphorus, no potassium. A 0, 0, 12 would be 12% phosphorus or potassium. K. I wonder.
Wonder who thought that one up.
Yeah.
Why is
Did
K
you?
potassium?
Were you good at chemistry?
I started out college as a chemistry major, if y'all are all wondering. I was good in high school, and then I realized that that's not for me forever. So,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed it.
I was like, I just got to get through it. I was like, I'll never
Oh,
use
man.
chemistry.
And look at you now.
Yeah, use it every day. But there's still a lot to understand. But talking a little bit about
Chemistry's
that,
cool, though.
using fertilizers and then maybe some regenerative agriculture. Talk about that a little bit. No-till, or
Sounds like a good class.
hopefully we'll see.
It's going to be a nice day outside. Everybody's
Yeah.
anxious to get to planting, so I think it's great timing.
Yeah,
You know,
I might
nice
talk
day.
about that a little bit. I've seen the one of the trucks that delivers all the transplants to places. I seen that truck going through town, and I was like,
Oh, some of y'all are doomed.
yeah, because February, and we got to make it those little warm season tomatoes that they'll have out on the shelves.
But even if you want to wait to plant, you kind of have to buy them early sometimes. And
Yeah.
so maybe you talk about keeping them going
Yeah,
if you're already purchasing those transplants.
yeah, but that's what I'm looking for in the class, or like
that'd be
hope
good.
something like that. I hope it goes good. Hope there's people there.
I think
Yeah.
you'll have a good crowd.
I think so. What you got going on? What you been doing?
I've got Serve Safe in a couple weeks and youth leadership. So last time I taught dining etiquette, we had it at the Folk Center, but with some timing, I couldn't make that happen because they're closed for the season. And so I thought I'll try it myself. And so they did all the place settings and everything here, and I had to meet spaghetti, which is difficult, but we learned, how to properly eat spaghetti.
Yeah, they had a
So-
seat in my careers class and at Arkansas Tech. We had to attend like a deal like that, and they had us eat ribs. So I guess that's a good deal. See,
It's a good dinner, though, some ribs.
yeah,
So I want you to tell a story. It was Justin's birthday yesterday, so in honor of that,
yeah.
Justin used to own a gorilla suit. And
Yeah.
so if you lived in Mountain View, there's a chance you
Yeah.
might have seen it.
I seen a gorilla. We talked about it all the time. How funny it would be as if we got a gorilla suit, and then we could pretend to be like Bigfoot and stuff. Well, Justin, he finally bought one, and so, one time we all went over to There's a few times, I'll tell
I
them.
was going to say, I can think of at least two
One time-
instances.
Justin was with us, and we got up at Brad and Dad's, and we'd sit there and we'd wait for cars to be coming through Timbo, and then we'd run across the road there, like the store and stuff, and run behind the store
In the gorilla suit?
in the gorilla suit. One of us would be there and run across, and I think I did it and Justin did it. And one time I was doing it, and I like ran across the road, and the car like pulled in and was like chasing after me. And luckily it's Brady. I was so scared.
He knew it was y'all.
Yeah. But then
You thought they were going to run over Bigfoot or whatever you were.
but then I think Justin let me borrow it, and it was
I was there for the Walmart incident.
Yeah, so I think it's weird how your memory works, because I can both see it happening and also think that I was in the suit.
Yeah, I can't. I
So
know
I
you were
can't-
in the suit on the Walmart one, but
Okay.
the Pizza Hut, I'm not sure.
So it seems like maybe the Pizza Hut one was somebody else, but it was the funniest one. So what we did is we dressed in the gorilla suit, and we like tied a rope around my neck or something,
Yeah,
and
to
Ryan like
lead
led
you.
me through Walmart, and we bought like a thing of bananas, and then went.
I think I
What-
jumped on somebody's car.
Yeah, well, I think it was Cody got in it, and we're like, go through Pizza Hut, I dare you.
Okay, so Pizza Hut has a door at the same spot on both sides, so you can just run right through.
And so I think I was videoing. That's how I remember it so good. Like we jump out on the one side, open the door. I opened the door for him, and he like runs through, and like there was a girl like standing there, and like as soon as he got in and like kind of ran through, and he's like, like there was one of the waitresses was like, ah! And he popped out the other side, and we were in the car, and like we were gone.
I remember the scream.
Yeah. Oh man, that was funny. I'd forgotten about it till you brought it up that we
Yeah.
even did that.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night, and
Man, did we? I remember skateboards may have been involved in it. Cause
yeah, I forgot about that.
me and
Someone
Brandon
wrote
got
it.
into skateboarding there
Yeah.
for a little bit.
It didn't work out too
Well,
good for Brandon.
You can imagine, like, we grew up in Oney, Arkansas. How many places are there concrete to skateboard? And we couldn't do any tricks or anything, but what we'd do is we'd ride down the hills, And
Yeah.
this was before it was asphalt, and they chip and sealed it, and I wouldn't attempt it after they chip and sealed,
I thought you meant.
No, like it used to be like a lot smoother,
Yes, yes,
and,
I know. My windshield knows.
And so, yeah, I used to have a picture, and it was like me and Brandon skateboarding down this hill, and a truck in the back, and it was like, do not attempt this at home. This was
Yes.
performed on a closed street, and
It wasn't.
yeah, we were skateboarding down the highway in Oney, and
It's very steep where they went down.
we did that for a while.
Didn't he clock y'all at it was 50 mile an hour, wasn't it?
Um,
The incident was, I think.
I thought it was more than that.
It was at least.
I thought it was
Was
like,
it 55?
not 50. I thought it was like 40. I thought he was
Oh,
going
I
like
thought-
40 miles an
I
hour.
thought y'all were going.
I don't know.
Well, Brandon.
Were you there for that when he crashed?
No, we just started dating a couple weeks after that. But I've seen the pictures of it, and like right before it happened. But he still has scars.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
tell
was a
how that
brave
went.
man. So we'd done that, skateboarded and done it, and fell and busted a few times. But you get to going down those hills, and if you don't tighten up your trucks good enough, that thing gets a wobble. And if you're going 22 mile an hour down a hill, that's faster than you can run. So
Yeah.
you're going to hit the ground. Well, we'd done it, and we'd gotten pretty good to where we were working our way up Buddy Long Hill, there by or not
Church
Buddy Long
House Hill.
Church House
Yeah.
Hill, and there in Oney, coming out down to Bethany Baptist if you ever go through Oni. Just imagine.
I know several crash stories, and one at the bicycle anyway.
But we were doing it one evening, and there was a few of us there. And so Justin, he was like in his little red truck, he was taking us up to the top, and then we'd skateboard down to the bottom. And we were making it about what I'd call like a little more than halfway and able to make it all the way to the bottom. Well, Brandon gets brave and he's like, I'm going from the top. And I was like, man, I don't think I can do it. And he's like, I think I can. And
the confidence in that man.
And so I'll tell you from my perspective, I'm sitting down there at the bottom, and we'd sent Justin, take him to the top, and then Justin was going to follow him down, see how fast he's going. Well, he comes, and it like curves, and he comes around the curve, and it gets kind of steeper, so you would pick up a lot of speed. Well, he's making it, but then all of a sudden,
the death wobble.
And that thing just, whoo, and he smacked the ground, and it was like, oh.
He scraped on the side of his hip and on the top of his shoulder, and he said he had a knot on the top of his head, and he has yet to figure out how he managed that. But he said he wore your shirt home to hide it from his mom at the ripe age of 21.
Yeah, but we come down, and he was kind of, he was like, oh, dang, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, and just kind of banged up. But Justin was like, well, you hit like 40 mile an hour before you fell.
He was like, this was awesome.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, my goodness. I think that was the end of our skateboarding.
I can imagine, yeah.
Because not soon after that, they chip and sealed the road. And so.
Yeah.
Well,
good times.
Good times from childhood. We've done a lot of stuff around that area.
Some we can't discuss.
Well, so before we got to take a little break, I got to go run and get kids from school. I guess I'll talk mine. What I wanted to educate you on, we've talked about it's getting to be spring, it's warming up. What we want to do before, say, our plants that need to be pruned in dormancy during the winter, it's time to start thinking about doing that. Crepe myrtles, our fruit trees, roses, those can be pruned during dormancy to help increase flowering. Or for fruit trees, we're trying to remove with ornamentals, whenever you're pruning, what I tell folks is what you're looking for is dead, damaged, diseased wood that can be rubbing or crossing, or wood that hangs low, that if it gets a fruit load may touch the ground or could possibly, if it break. And you're really going in there and opening that tree up. You want good airflow and good light penetration so that the light can hit the interior leaves. So when we go to pruning on fruit trees, at least, you're removing more than you might think. I've had people say, like I'm sitting there like pruning, showing them how to prune like at their place. So, and I never, ever, I was telling Monty the other day, I was like, I never prune as much as I want to on somebody else's stuff because it
upsets them.
Well, yeah, they're like, you're taking off too much. And like that happened. I went and taught that class at Berryville with Monty on Monday. And I'm like, I tell them, you don't want to take off, rule of thumb, you don't want to take off more than a third of the tree. And I'm pruning on that tree, and one of them was like, you getting close to a third yet? And I still was like, well, there's still more I want to take off, but
yeah,
like that rule of thumb is for when your tree is really overgrown. And it's good to think about, but we don't want to, if it's really overgrown, hadn't been pruned in a while, no more than a third of the branches in any 1 year. But what we want to do our pruning right before spring, right before the flush of growth, preferably, after the chance of any of the harsh weathers pass, because on those fresh cuts you can get some cold damage if it does get pretty cold in the evening. So that's typically why we tell people, around here late February, early-ish March, but we're getting some warm days. You said yours
Yeah,
are
mine are starting to
try to
leaf.
leaf out.
So what do I need to do in that situation?
I think you'd still have time to prune them. We're
I'm
still.
hoping you can, but now I'm nervous to have you come
How come?
because you're going to take off a
Oh, I
bunch.
don't want. I'll make it. I'll do it right. I'll make it look
I
good.
pruned them pretty heavy last year, so
Well,
I think they need maybe some structural changes.
yeah, it's something you want to do every year, especially early on in their life. We want to train that tree
Yeah,
to
they're
develop a
young.
good, strong structure, developing good crotch angles.
You don't hear that every day.
Yeah, that is the where say we got the trunk. That's where the branch comes out. We want at least a 45-degree crotch angle. Probably they say like 45 to 60 is the best. I tell folks, if it's getting out there
So if it's
around a
past
90.
that, there could be a break more likely.
Well, you think about a 60 to 45-degree crotch angle or angle. That's going to be pretty strong. If it's narrower than that, we want to train the tree and put a spacer in there so it forces that to open up. Because as that tree grows and develops that narrow crotch angle, new growth will try to grow in there, and it will start rotting over time because all that new growth gets in there. Have you ever seen that in a tree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so if we can train that strong crotch angle, we can avoid that and also getting a strong branch. So if any weight gets out there on it,
it won't just break.
It won't just break. We talked about editing. Some of my hand motions gets Anna to giggling, so
Can't help it.
I can't either.
You talk with your hands. It's okay.
I do.
It's okay.
Be like Ricky Bobby, I guess, is what I need to do. Have you seen Talladega Nights?
I have, but I can't think of what you're doing at the moment.
He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. So this is how I'm going to start all my talks to keep from now on during the podcast.
Did he have anything in his hands?
No, he was being interviewed after he had raced for the first time. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands, and he has them up here.
I was thinking about when he stabbed his leg.
He's just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. So instead of me doing all my karate motions, I'm just going to do this.
Just hold like that and
yeah,
creep everybody out who doesn't know what you're talking about.
I was trying to make a joke, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, so it's the time of year to prune. Typically how we want to think about it is if it, I always have to look up which, certain things when to prune them, especially like your ornamentals, because it really depends on when they flower. So if they flower in the spring, that typically means that it's on last year's growth. So it'll, you want to do any pruning to those type of ornamental shrubs after they flower in the spring. Then go in and do our pruning. But then if it's like a summer flowering, that means it's making its flowers on the first year growth or the new growth. And so those are the types that we can go in and do cuts in the wintertime. Again,
so would that be like your fruit trees?
Yeah, fruit trees are like that. Fruit trees are a little bit different. We want to, they'll develop like on fruiting spurs on last year growth, or at least year-old growth. And but we want to come in and do any cleanup in dormancy. The reason we want to kind of switch that in ornamentals is because if you come in the winter and you're making cuts, you're cutting off your blooms if you're doing a heavy pruning. But like on fruit trees, you can see you can see where there's blooms. And I tell people that you worry about cutting off all your fruit. Well, look, this is a fruiting spur. This is where your blossoms will be. You're likely going to have to thin. What we want is it to fruit about every 4 to 6 inches, about a hand width apart is where we want fruit to develop. And your trees will try to develop more fruit than that. So we have to go in and remove those. It's called thinning. And the goal is, instead of the tree putting its energy into growing a bunch of little tiny fruit, we remove those and then it puts its energy into a few more larger fruits.
So you do that at the spur stage, the thinning?
the thinning you do once the fruit's developed.
Okay.
You don't want to do it at bloom because maybe not all
You may
blooms
not.
will
Okay.
develop a fruit, but when they get the little, you'll see the
Yeah,
little
yeah, you see
green
'em.
thing after they start to develop. That's when you want to go in when they're still tiny. If you like, I don't have time for that. You can like get a rubber garden hose or something, and something that's not going to damage the tree when you hit it, and you just knock them off that way. Makes sense.
It does.
I think we still need to do that video though.
Yeah,
We need to get
'cause
that done.
That needs to be my trees.
Yeah. I was thinking of something earlier as I was driving around building that stinking low tunnel. I was like,
Yeah,
because I was kind of trying to look that up online.
you could build another.
Well, I just video how I put it together, and that
Yeah.
would be fine.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then do it quick, because that's the one thing I get is like, I don't have time to sit here for 30 minutes and
Video?
you talk about
Oh yeah, just show me the time lapse, the key things.
the key things.
Yeah.
I think we could do a video like that. It'd do pretty good.
You may need to get your children.
Yeah, I better go get the kids, and then we'll come back and finish this out. Make
Sounds
sense? Has it made sense this round?
Yes.
All right. Well, you excited about archery club this evening?
Yeah, I know nothing about archery.
You gonna help me?
I'm gonna help try to keep people from getting shot by an arrow.
Hopefully, that would
That'd be bad.
that'd be bad. That's one of the points of like shooting sports that Jesse talks about is that there hasn't been like serious accident
Thus far.
Thus far. I'm not superstitious.
But just in case.
None of this is wood though.
I know. Maybe
They're
particle.
down there.
Yeah. We do have a lot of really pretty real wood in our office, but not in here.
I think there's been a couple of like instances where someone did get hurt, but it wasn't like they got shot. Like I think that's why they can't use like reactive targets.
Okay.
Because what's the story? Is they were doing something with reactive targets where you shoot the target and there's like a 12 gauge shell on the other side and it hits when you hit the target
Yeah.
and it explodes. Well, I think one of the 4-H clubs, they were doing that, and like as they were going to pick up the stuff,
It exploded.
well, I think the kid like dropped it and it hit him.
Just a shell?
I don't know if they,
If it was messed with.
if they, I just remember that story
Well, that
from when I went
sounds-
through training that they told about. So hopefully, no, for sure that nothing bad will happen.
No reactive targets.
It can't be like something that explodes. Like we could do balloons. I need to remember that. Like with bows, eventually what we need to do is, which would be fun to do, is like put a balloon way out there and get the flu arrows.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Have you ever shot anything that explodes?
Yeah. Have you?
I've been a part of it. I mean, milk jugs and...
Yeah.
You ready for me to have my spiel?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about bad words. Not really. It says budget is not a bad word.
Oh.
So your face is like,
I was trying to think like what?
What's
I was
a
about
bad
to say
word?
one.
No, it just says budget is not a bad word.
Budget.
Oh, thank you for enunciating that for us. So, a nicer term's like a spending plan, but normally when you say budget, everybody cringes because they're thinking of
Yeah. Like I think of. It's
not getting to do anything fun.
Well, yeah. I think we need to start budget. We need to budget. But
yeah,
it's like,
a lot of us say it, and then few of us do it.
Yeah.
So basically, I've been going through this financial series and trying to really take stock of what I have, set goals for my family, and so I did my financial inventory, and I finally felt ready to start to make a budget. So So first you have to really set some goals, and then you also have to think, what are the goals for my family too? Not just kind of what I think, like what's my whole household goals. And then, and you're going to have to adjust. So like what you do the first month, if it's not at all obtainable and it's terrible, or it might be too easy, then you can adjust it, and you're going to have to adjust it.
Yeah, the way I was saving money was I was just having them put it, in the credit union,
Yeah.
a couple of hundred, and I was like, just forget about it, and then I'll buy me a gun.
How'd that go?
I haven't got a gun yet.
Though, I do like that way of thinking. I consider it like paying myself. So I'll have money pull out of my savings account. So it's like a bill kind of. And that way I don't look at it. Because if I look at it, I'm like, that's nice. I might use that. So, but that's one way you can do it, is it's like you pay yourself essentially to save. But so back to setting the goals. So we want to set those SMART goals. And we've talked about that before. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So for your
Gotta
budget.
say something. I think attainable and achievable. I think
I attainable.
I think
I like achievable.
You switched up, and I was like, they pretty much mean the same thing,
last
don't they?
Last time we had read it was attainable, and this time it has achievable.
Okay.
But I guess it's because this is more financially specific, so achieve must have been the word they were feeling. So SMART or specific, SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So my SMART goal for my budget. So I made me a goal, and mine was to spend less dining out during the week and add more to savings accounts, because I had talked previous, I want to build my emergency savings back up. And then also I added in, I wanted to do a little more tithing than I had been doing. So that's one thing that I added. So specific. So what will I achieve? Who will benefit from the goal? What thing will I accomplish? So more savings can help me to go into debt less. Tithing makes me feel good in my heart. And dining out less, maybe more money to go on vacation and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
not been as good this
Tithing.
week. Or donation, however you.
Well, I was just thinking of 10. Tithing means 10%,
yeah.
but then I was like, you're telling people. You know how it says, don't let your right hand know what your left hand's doing? And I was like, you're telling people you're tithing, so you're not going to get a reward. I'm just kidding.
Gosh, the things you think of.
I get what I'm trying to...
But it says, like, if you read about budgeting, and it talks about a certain amount that you give away. And so that's how I'm choosing to give mine away. I didn't say how much I was doing.
I know.
I know what it means. It means 10%.
I was trying to tell a joke, and it flopped.
Well, because I felt chastised.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, it flopped. I was like, oh, this isn't going to go over. Like
I took it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you take a joke personal, it's kind of hard.
But I can,
the flop of the joke's making me laugh more than the joke.
Trying to turn this around. I was trying to say something funny, and it just flopped. And
well, the flop made me laugh.
Yeah.
So specific. So I think I might have been too specific. Specific. So measurable. So how much? So that's your dollar amount and how often. So you're getting, an actual number value, and I have that here for me. So I wanted to have it measurable. And that's kind of the thing of the budget. If you don't give a real number, I'm just going to do this, but you need that number amount
definitely
to follow.
Thinking how I think and how I do things, put a number, because
otherwise, how do you measure it?
Yeah,
how do you quantify?
And what you're going to end up doing is
probably not going to follow
just disappear. Yeah,
and that's a good point. I had a note in here to talk about phantom money. So the example was, if you spend 50 cents a day for a soda, how much does that typically add up to in a year?
Well, like first thought is where you still finding 50-cent sodies.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the dollar $19. So
Yeah, so
so probably a soda's at least $1
so if you spent $1,
a day. That's $3.65
yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot once you add it all up. It
for
seems like,
years. Think about over 10 years.
yeah, wow, 3,000 on sodies.
Yeah.
So it's wild to think of, and that's phantom money because we think, oh, it's just $1.
Yeah. And
But over time, it truly adds up. So that's where that measurable comes into, and watch out for your phantom spending. And hopefully you found some of that when you did in the other episodes. I talk about your spending tracking.
Tracking your spending and doing an inventory.
Yes. So hopefully you found it there.
That's
but
why you do that.
Yes.
To find those.
And you'll always find something.
I wonder
think.
if I'm still a member of the gym.
Yeah, the guy gets a few people.
Yeah.
So, yep, you may need to check on that one. That was definitely something I talked about in the spending tracker, and all those subscriptions that you might have that you may not have remembered that you're paying for that are getting drawn out monthly. Okay, so we got specific, we got measurable. Now, attainable or achievable, is it something you can actually do? And so like if I want to make $1 million in a year, but I'm not doing anything to make the $1 million. Well, that's pretty unachievable. Yeah. So I try to be a little more stricter on my first month. So that's what I was working for with my budget. So we want to make sure that we can actually achieve these goals, and then relevant. So is this something that I really want? Is now the right time? So if savings is part of your goal, but you're hardly paying your bills, you may just need to focus on getting those bills paid for and those debts down before we can get to a savings goal. So you got to see if that's something relevant to you. And why that's important is this is going to help meet your short-term and your long-term goals. So short-term, for me was building that emergency savings, and then, get that built up and then start putting that more into retirement.
What would people like for emergency savings? What does research recommend?
Typically, they want you to build up to 1,000 as like your first goal. Mm-hmm. And so for some, that's a lot harder than it sounds. So I would say if you have real limited, getting to $100, mm-hmm. and then try to build up to that 1,000, and then after that, it's 3 months of expenses and then 6 months of expenses, and that's pretty much, and that's just dedicated to emergency savings. That's not a separate savings account for other things. That's purely all four tires mess up, and that way that prevents you from using your credit card and having those very high interest rates.
I'll tell you, I had a flat when I had to go to the 4-H center.
No.
Yeah, got over there and for that facilitator training, and I drove my truck, but I stop in there.
That was a risk.
Yeah, that was a risk. But it had good tires on it. I pulled into an ATM to get some cash out, and then went over to the 4-H center, and there's still snow on the ground. That was the sketchiest part, is once I got on that road there, Ferndale. Yeah. There was still ice in the road, and pull into the parking lot, and thought I noticed, how it is when there's a flat, mm-hmm. But then I was like, well, maybe
I can't say I actually do. It has to be really bad before I've noticed.
I didn't hear it, you can usually feel it and hear it,
when you're
but
about
I didn't
to
feel
ruin
that,
your tire.
But when I pulled in, it felt like I had a flat, but it seems like I was I was like, maybe that I just slipped on the ice, and then I was kind of late. It started at 10, and I'm getting in there at 9:59, so I got to run it.
I got to
run in, but I get in there, and then everybody's just kind of chilling, so I wasn't late. But
as long as you're not the last one,
yeah, I wasn't the last one. But then I just forgot about it, and then that evening, Samantha Horn was she walked out, and then she come back and pointed at me, and she's like, "Is that your black truck? You got a bad flat." And I was like, "Oh, dang, what am I going to do?" Because I don't have a spare. I'd left it, left the spare at home, because It's got a flat on it.
Well, it wouldn't have done you much good anyway.
Yeah, so, but anyways, one of these screws from the roof
Oh, yeah.
was in there, and luckily, Taylor Knox, he had, well,
He had
the
the setup.
4/8 center had a air tank, and then he had like a plug for
Plug
me.
cap.
So it worked.
Well, good. Save the day.
Save the day. Otherwise, I was like, okay, I'm about to have to spend, you know,
Ooh.
a couple $100 to get a new tire, and I'm gonna have to run around, have people drive me around to do this.
Well, I'm glad they were able to get it fixed. So, yeah, emergency savings for things like tires and all kinds of stuff that pops up. So,
Yeah.
Relevant. We talked about that. Is that something you can do now? And then time bound. So, how long are you going to follow this? Or how long is it going to take to meet your goal? So, I set me a goal. I don't like super long-term goals always because you just kind of get lost and forget about them. So, I like something, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. I really like having all of those. So, I can be like, yay! So, I can celebrate sooner and maintain that momentum.
Yeah, I had that goal. I was going to try to save $1,000 a year. In 10 years, I'd go spend it.
You'd spend it all at once.
Treat myself. That
Treat
was
yourself. Yes, I've seen
You've
that.
seen that?
Yeah, they have a new commercial with that too.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to do.
Yep. So I went through and consumer.gov had a nice little make a budget sheet. And so I edited that to work out for me. So I had like my monthly income, and then I'd already tracked all my spending and expenses. So I try to set limits for me on groceries and dining out and all those variables. And so that's what I worked through each of those. And, for you, you just have to sit down, and it's so individualized. Like a budget just really varies on the person, but just sit down and say, I'm going to spend this much. And I like to focus on a week and then a month. So I break it down weekly. Some people may need to break it down daily. So it's up to you, but set those amounts and see how you do that first month. Keep up with it. Try to follow it, and then you adjust it for your next month until you find something that works for you. And sometimes I try to not always treat myself, and sometimes you got to make things a little uncomfortable, and when you make it through that week, that's a win. And so make that budget for your household and kind of get yourself headed towards those goals that you want to meet.
Yeah, I mean, budgeting, we talk about it all across ag. Farmers definitely need to, if you're not budgeting as a farmer, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That would be the first thing you need to do is figure out how much you're spending, and definitely,
Yeah, and farming, that spending, you might just buy that one thing once a year.
Yeah.
Or spend it, or you might get that income once a year. And so it's really important to keep a
there's
log.
some things we can do, do we want to spend money on feed in the winter? Or what if we spent $1,000 on fertilizer? Probably that fertilizer would get you a lot further than $1,000 in feed. Just thinking, how much your grass extra yield there is.
Yeah, being strategic.
So
And building your
you're
resources.
listening, thinking about budgeting goes across everything.
Yeah, all your businesses and all your household. So
How long did your crick in the neck last?
badly for about 5 days, but it is not 100% gone. But I had a really hard time sleeping for 4 nights at least. I found that heat, like a rice bag heated up, was good. And I had to resort to pain meds so I could sleep.
I may have, just feels like,
Do you think I could just karate chop it and it'd be better?
I don't know, it'd probably kill me. I'd be like, yeah, I think so, and then,
ER. There's your $1,000.
sorry kids, archery club's canceled again.
Oh gosh. Oh man, this will be the third or 4th because of factors beyond our control.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a beautiful evening in the Ozarks, so it should be nice. Nice to go shoot
Seen
some
some
bows.
smoke earlier. I thought,
You felt like burning something.
well,
You're like 2 years in a row having to have
Man.
the fire department come out.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyler.
Well, whoops, sorry. That I adjusted and like looked down to see what time we're at, and then I did my throat, and it like jumped, and so it's like, oh, whoops,
Oops.
did that right in your ear. I don't know anything else. We got about 24 minutes. We've recorded almost 30, and then 24. You want to say anything else? Anything funny?
I don't know if I have any. Is there any other good stories?
I don't know.
I was thinking the other day about spring break, and I was thinking about one of my favorite spring break memories was when a bunch of us rode four-wheelers, and we ended up over at the Cast and Rock Yard, and it was muddy. Well, a neighbor got mad at somebody that day, but anyway.
Was that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of my yard! Anyway, he shouldn't have drove through yard, but we were riding on four-wheelers, and we were slinging mud, and then we got into a big mud fight. That was a good spring break.
Yeah.
Was
that
nice.
I used to have some pictures like where we made the ramps and like we were like laying down underneath the
Oh gosh, I think that was in the summer that y'all jumped over.
Yeah, we built some ramps and yes.
Okay.
I don't know what about.
All right. That's
All
it.
right, that's it.